Hello, everybody. How are we doing? Happy Wednesday. I'm going to say it. I can't believe how quickly the week has gone. But it's nice to have structure and something to look forward to. A nice break in the middle on hump day. I hope that you've all had a great week so far and had a good end of last week. It's sort of, it really is the week of two halves inverted. As I always say when starting these live shows, I've got this little counter on my stream deck of how many people are tuned in, and it's really nerve-wracking at first because it's just like one person and it goes up to like 5, 6, 7, 8 and then back to 1, and I'm like, where's everyone gone? And it's, you know, there's a countdown on the screen. People look at it and go, you know what? Starts in 4 minutes. Great, I'll come back in 4 minutes. And so it works well. I think the countdown's cool. I love the music in it. It's so chilled, and it just gets me in a bit of a ritual, getting ready for it. It has been a really, really busy week for my YouTube channel because there's been 2 new episodes of Quest for Global Empathy in a week. I mean, one of them was 8 days ago, so it was just before the last live show we did with Owen Eastwood, who wrote Belonging, The Ancient Code of Togetherness. Really, really happy with that episode. Owen was really glad to be on it. And then I remembered that I had to do a chat with my good friend Mike Fegarido, who is host of The Humanist Report, a progressive political show in the US. And it was 11 o'clock at night, and we finished about 2:30 in the morning because we had just lots of conversations out either side of the episode. And that, of course, went out on Monday this week. And what happens whenever you start uploading more regular content than you have before? They're not going to do as well viewership-wise because, you know, people that are subscribed are now focused across. They have multiple content to watch, you know. Whereas if it's just the occasional video, as soon as that goes up, that's the only thing people are going to tune into. So it straight away can make you a bit concerned of like, oh, I don't know if this is going to do well. And actually looking at the stats of the podcast in audio downloads especially, it's great because Monday's episode this week did better than the previous week, and the drop-off was less than the previous week's episode. And then when we got to day 3, I thought, okay, that's going to drop right back down. It's gone up. It's gone up again. More people are downloading it. So this is really, really great. It's making me feel relieved because I've spoken about this before. It's really a mental struggle when you come back to a channel like mine that's been desolate for many years and you start trying content and you're going to lose subscribers because there are old accounts and stuff like that, but you have to stick the path. You can't hesitate, you can't blink, and I'm committed with this. Now, I would really like there to be a weekly episode of Quest for Global Empathy. I've got a lot of guests lined up. Right now, I don't have a guest lined up this week, but I'm racing around the clock to fix something up so I can get an episode done for next Monday, because I just want it to become a weekly show. Obviously, I'm sad that it's no longer done in the studio that I used to love, but this is a new format and I think it works. And Hannah was very kind to say, I love the latest Quest for Global Empathy episode, so that means a lot. And I do read all the comments, and yeah, it's really great. So first bit of housekeeping, Quest for Global Empathy is back. So the idea is every Monday there'll be a new episode of the podcast, and then every Wednesday there'll be this live show. And then Friday, I feel there needs to be something. I'm either going to do like a live show on Instagram or Facebook, or I'll actually put together like a short video, like a reel on Instagram or something like that. I haven't decided yet, but you know, it's just one step at a time. I think the focus is, let's just get the heartbeat of this channel going again with an episode of Quest for Global Empathy every week. Once again, a huge thank you to everyone who's become a patron. Your support is another way of giving me a morale boost, so I really, really appreciate it. And yeah, I'm just feeling good about everything, despite also feeling terrible about everything because there's been so much anxiousness about are things going to succeed, because it was actually something spoken about on the last episode, podcast episode with Mike, which is sometimes when you put so much effort into content and it doesn't, it might be that content that doesn't do as well. But this is all part of the long-term plan. So there's that. Also, I want to give a shout out to N-Dreams, UK game developer. For anyone that follows me on Instagram, they sent me a box of lots of goodies regarding Fract, which was an awesome virtual reality game that I was playing on Twitch. I actually won it in a competition. It was like an Ask Me Anything they did on Discord and Reddit, and I asked a question on both because I wanted to win the goodies. And so I've done a little fun Instagram post, and N-Dreams said, "Wow, you should have been our model for the campaign," or something, jokingly. So I'm like, well, just let me know when you've next got a VR game coming out. So yeah, normally after this show, I go onto Twitch and do some virtual reality or live streaming. But it's too much of a rush. It means I'm always rushed off at 10 o'clock, in 50 minutes time after this show, to then set everything up downstairs and do that. And then I'm only on for an hour. I need to have a shower within that time before I then go and watch PSVR Without Parole, my friends who do the VR show. I am going to have to rush off dead on the hour today, though, because anyone who's followed me on Instagram, I haven't eaten yet, and I wanted to treat myself to some pizza. So I managed to order pizza, but there wasn't going to be enough time to collect it or eat it, most importantly. So my pizza's going to be ready in 1 hour and 8 minutes time. So in an hour, I will be heading off to get my pizza. And I've got some red wine left over that I'm very much looking forward to. But after the week I've had, I feel I've deserved a treat. And this is going to play into today's topic, which is all about procrastination. So I've got a couple other things to talk about first, but I want to just sort of present the topic of today, which is about procrastination. It's something most of us deal with in life, especially in today's society that is so digital, where we have unlimited access to information and to other people. So, that can be a real big thing. Silver Surfer says, pizza is for sharing. And you're right, it is for sharing. That's why there's slices. And yet, there's me going to be eating it by myself. But I would share it if I could. And Herfener, and forgive me if I've mispronounced your name. Regular upload is key. Whether you do many or few is secondary to that. I notice when favourite YouTubers stop for a while and then come back with force, I take forever to get back into them. Exactly, because it's always about nurturing the behaviour and becoming a part of people's routines who watch. So something I did as a test this week, and I'm really interested to know anyone watching if you saw this. But on my YouTube channel, I use the community tab. Let's come to here. I used the community tab, and on it, I did this post, which said, "Hey, I have a plan, but I need your help." And I mentioned how it's been, quite a slow beginning. So I said, if you see this post, just like it and leave a comment. And I said I'd respond to all of them. And I think there's a new one now. I'm currently signed in on my band's account. So as my band, I should say, there we go, why not? So yeah, cool. So yeah, if you go on my channel and go to the community feed or see this, just give it a like and a comment, and after the show later this evening, I will respond to it. Also, do you like the photo? I was really proud of this photo. It was taken against this wall, and then in Canva, an online image editing program, I just cropped myself out, which is amazing on Canva. You press one button, it does it. And then I made a fake background, and then I blurred it, and then did some color correction, and it actually turned out way better than I was expecting. So yeah, I'm learning stuff. Last thing I would say with this intro screen is Instagram. Myles Dyer Official. If you're on Instagram, that is where I'm most active, and I'm going to be posting some more reels on mental health and well-being soon. So definitely follow me there if you haven't already. Cool. There was one other thing I was going to mention regarding the podcast, actually, which is this is on questforglobalempathy.com. This is on my actual mylesdyer.com website. I've actually updated this page, so we've got the highlights video here, and then look, we've got the new ones, and I've designed the new thumbnails myself. I think they actually work okay. So we've got 3 new episodes now. We've had 10 in total, and if we can start doing this weekly, I'm just really excited about this. So once again, a huge thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on that. And support can come in many ways. Just, if you've got Spotify, just search Quest for Empathy and follow it and listen to an episode. Same with Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. And if there's somewhere that you get your podcast from that Quest for Empathy isn't available at, let me know and I'll do my best to make it work. Yes, it's all about the algorithm. The algorithm, all about monitoring human behavior for the consumer and the producer. So there's definitely that. Language tip. The only real important part of pronunciation is what syllables are accented, and you nailed that. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm glad. I'm always very conscientious of pronunciations of names, and actually anyone who watched the live stream of my podcast episode with Mike, at the end I asked him how to pronounce his name, and it's Figueiredo, but I was saying Figueiredo, like I was putting an accent on. I just couldn't help it, and it took so many takes to get right. But it was also, I was exhausted. It was like a 15-hour day or something like that. It was longer than that. So I was burning out. And I'm yawning. Forgive me. So, procrastination. Who here deals with procrastination? I deal with it an awful lot. I'd like to think I'm a lot better than I used to be, but then it's also a value judgment of where you want to be in terms of productivity and what your current output is. And when you get to a certain level of productivity, there's probably a new horizon that you're at. And I think that's what really comes into play when we're talking about procrastination. We first think about it a lot when it comes to studying. When you've got like coursework you need to hand in, or you got an exam to revise for. You got all these topics or all this research to do or all these words you have to write, and you keep putting it off because here's the deadline. I know it's the opposite way for you. Sorry. So this is your starting point. You're here. The deadline's here, and you've got all this time. And as you approach the deadline, you start feeling the pressure mounting, and then it's like, right, I've got to get it done. And that really comes to the first point about procrastination. I think it's all about the size of the task. We always look at tasks in its entirety. So I've got to do a piece of coursework. I have to revise for an exam. I have to, create a video. My podcast show, I've got to create a new podcast episode this week. And one of the best things you can do when it comes to procrastination is just segment it. When you do your to-do list, my to-do list isn't just create Quest for Global Empathy episode. It will have that as the header, but then it will have little bullet points underneath. So it will be book guest, film, edit, create thumbnail, create audio version, upload, schedule, social posts. I have it broken down a bit more than that, but for the sake of this. And it just means that every time you get a little bit done, there is a sense of progression, as opposed to saying, you could end up doing like, if you had that broken down into 10 segments and you've done 8 of them, that feels good. You've made a lot of progress. Whereas if you had those 10 segments hidden and it's just make the episode, you might be 8 segments down, but you're like, I still haven't done that one thing. And what I always say about life when it comes to a lot of exercises around mental health and well-being, it's all about playing mind games with yourself. That's what life is. My favourite quote from a metal band, it's a lyric that I always mention again and again, and I think it's just because it's so incredibly true and applicable to all these conversations. We're just rehearsing who we think we are. Life is all about who do we think we are and how does that behave in the current situation, and that's what we play out. We play that out, and that's the same with procrastination. We have a big project and we think, my goodness, there's so much to do there, and by breaking it down, we can actually say, oh, actually, I'm making progress. The reality is the same regardless. It's just the way that it's framed can make a difference. I'm really bad at breaking down tasks. I mean, when you say you're bad at breaking down tasks, what do you mean? As in, you don't do it enough, or you actually struggle with breaking it down in the right way? Because sometimes you can break it down to a point where the breaking down of tasks is wasting time. Like, I love doing Google spreadsheets, and I have all these spreadsheets for organizing myself, but sometimes I could spend half a day doing it and then I end up not using it, so I can waste a lot of time that way. But procrastination always comes down to expectation. So it's the expectation of, like, what is the task? What is the value of the task? And what is the reward? Because for me, creating an episode of The Quest for Global Empathy is the reward is I've done another week. People get to enjoy a great conversation, and I feel a sense of accomplishment. But if that is something that's going to have to be done in a week's time, there is a sense of delay as well. It's that week leading up to it. So that's a week of working and not feeling I'm getting anything out of it. Whereas if I've got it broken down, there's a sense of reward each time. And it could be broken down so that each day, and the Quest for Global Empathy, it doesn't work this way when it comes to obviously recording the episode, because it depends on the availability of the guest. But one of the tasks is not just, book the guest, but decide what the guest is, So every day of the week, you could say, I'm just going to do this small thing. And then you do it, and you go, right, I've made progress. And you might end up doing a bit more than you originally intended. And it's so, so helpful, because what you find is then every day you can say, you know what, if I get all these tasks done, all these little segments, I can treat myself. It's what I'm doing today. My stomach's rumbling as I'm talking about it. I'm going to go out after this live show and have a really, really good pizza. I can't wait. Honestly, I can't stop thinking about it. So, all your comments in this are really helping me get through, because all I'm thinking about is pizza right now. But that's me treating myself, because I've had to be honest, it's been a really hectic 3 or 4 weeks. I finally had some time off last week, but now I'm hitting the ground running again with this new podcast episode. But the other thing, do you know what? My top tip for procrastination, and I'm really curious for everyone watching, is just let me know in the chat, what do you do to overcome procrastination? Because what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for everyone else, because some people are really good at building spreadsheets and schedules and saying, this is the deadline, because this is what I keep telling myself, and I keep trying it and failing, but I want to give it another go. Instead of just saying, like, I've got 5 weeks to complete a task, so week 1, week 2, week 3. No, start with week 5. What is the end goal? And then you break it down and you work your way backwards. I need to try that more, that's for certain. But a technique I always use when it comes to dealing with procrastination, it's, I'm going to call it the 5-minute rule. I'm sure it has an actual term, but it's the idea of just do 5 minutes. I don't know if any of you have heard of that before. This totally changed my life. And it is when it comes to doing anything, even things like, because procrastination sometimes isn't just about being distracted, like you do one thing and then you go, oh, there's something on the news I can check out. Sometimes it's about just not being motivated. I don't really want to do that. And so the just 5 minutes is literally what it says. You have a task you need to do. It's going to take me an hour. Just do 5 minutes. Just do 5 minutes. Because what you'll find is, by just doing 5 minutes, you'll probably end up doing a lot more. Again, it's all about playing mind games with yourself. And so an example of it I'd give is when I was signed up to a local gym. Going to the gym was a huge effort. And because I live by myself and I go to the gym by myself, I don't have someone to like, say, come on, Miles, we're going, to pull me along and for me to pull them along. That can be a real good motivational factor. So instead, I would be here and I would go, right, I need to go to the gym. I want to go to the gym today. I don't feel motivated. I'm just going to do 5 minutes. So you think, so I go to the gym and do 5 minutes? No. I just do 5 minutes from the moment I declare it. But do I even get to the gym in 5 minutes? In 5 minutes, I could get my gym stuff, get changed into it, get into my car, go down to the gym. I'd probably arrive at the gym after 5 minutes if the traffic was good. And then you go, but you've not even done any working out. You've just done 5 minutes of traveling. But at that point, I'm at the gym. Am I going to then think, I'm going to go home? No, I end up going to the gym and being there for half an hour. It's amazing. And it was a real life-changing thing for me to learn that. So yeah, same with going for a walk. You need to get some sunshine. I don't know. Like, I've got all this stuff to do. I should probably do this, but then it'll probably be too late to go for a walk. I felt that today. I was running out of time. No, just do 5 minutes. I went out for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes turned into 70 minutes, and I felt great because of it. So it really is a great motivational tool. You play a game with yourself, but it's about like, what are the stepping stones? So when we talk about breaking things down into smaller pieces, it doesn't always have to be written down. Sometimes it could just be as simple as just do 5 minutes and then the rest will follow. I have ADHD, so the executive functions of the brain are severely impaired, and breaking down tasks or planning a day or feeling time are where you see that. I understand. And it goes back to what I was saying about different things work for different people. So the just 5 minutes, I think, could be a really good help with that, because you're not actually, restricting yourself with a schedule. Instead, you are just like getting the ball rolling, which can be really, really good. I try to use a countdown from 3 and take action at 0. Prevents my brain from building up too many excuses not to act. That's good. Okay. I like that a lot. It also plays into what I talk a lot about with anxiety or being lethargic, especially during lockdown, where you're stuck in and getting out of bed in the morning is difficult, or you get up and then you don't really know what to do. And so one thing they always say is write your to-do list, write your objectives the night before. It's very important, because then when you wake up, you can hit the ground running. But it's not as simple as hitting the ground running. So what I also suggest is it's about doing little things first. So actually having a shower, like waking up, having a shower, and then making yourself a cup of tea or a coffee. These are like little stepping stones. And as you do it, yeah, all right, you're not doing any work or being productive, which I disagree with, but I'm just saying, like, that's the thought process. I'm not being productive. But what you find is, by having a shower, you're like, okay, I've got that. I'm ready now. I feel fresh. Then you have your tea. You can enjoy your nice tea. Okay. And then your brain is actually feeling a sense of momentum, because I saw a post on Instagram earlier today about it's okay it's okay to have days off. You don't always have to be productive. And I just commented saying, but having a day off is being productive. We always think about productivity in terms of a task, a specific task or objective. But productivity is a day-to-day occurrence. It's about how are you productive as a human being. And so in the long run, being productive is actually taking care of yourself. I was an organizer for 30 years, so I can make plans with defined attainable goals, but motivation, believing that the goals are achievable and meaningful, is hard. Really good point there. So sometimes, we can be really specific and know what the goals are, but the motivation behind it can be a limiting factor. And that's why also, breaking them down into even smaller pieces can be a part of it. But it's also about making sure there are tangible rewards. So it's saying, if I get these things done today, I can then watch a movie, or I can then, go see some friends. When I have loads of washing up to do, I wish I had a dishwasher, and I keep putting it off. what I do is I say, right, I'm going to play this computer game. You know, and a round of this game is like 7 minutes. And every time I've got to the end of 7 minutes, I go do another bowl of washing up, or I do this thing. And it's like, oh, but then you're jumping backwards and forwards. You get way more done than I would have done if I just sort of been there. Oh, I wouldn't have even done it otherwise. So yeah, really, really good thing to do there is break it up. Excuse me for yawning. I mean, getting others to believe we can win is hard. My way of overcoming procrastination is reminding myself how I've disappointed people in the past and try not to make it happen again. Not a healthy strategy, but there you go. I was about to say that before I read. Definitely not healthy. Like that's like negative reinforcement. It's like guilt tripping. It can work, but what I would say is if you can find what the positive reinforcement is, it would be way more beneficial. It'd be less stress inducing. And what it means is you would end up doing tasks. You'd be attacking them from a place of strength as opposed to a place of defense. Like you wouldn't be doing it, I need to get this done. I always talk about the importance of language in the mind, and that whenever you use the word should, don't use should, use could. Even stuff that has a deadline, it's always you have choice, you have autonomy, and so you could do something. So I could do this, I could do it now, and it not only removes the guilt factor, it's also empowering, because when you do something, you did it not because you should, but because you could. Because you could, yeah. I was getting twisted on my words there, but it's the idea that it's actually an empowering thing that you chose to do a task because you could, and you did. That's great. Whereas if it was you did it because you should, you get to the end of the task, you get it done, it actually lessens the reward because you were like, yeah, I did it, but I had to. Whereas, oh, I did the task. I mean, I didn't have to, but I did. And it's that sense of empowerment. Yeah, it is about empowerment. Yeah, man, definitely do it. Anyone else watching in the chat, just chip in. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts and suggestions. I'm actually going to read a couple that I got on Instagram earlier. One of them was from my good friend Jade, bless her. I don't know if she's watching. Where did she put it? I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, she says, I reward myself with treats like a dog. Please share the answers. I need help. I love it. But that's fine. Have treats. It's what I was saying about I do a bit of washing up and then I play a computer game. I break it up. It's really, really important. Really, really helpful. I find the most important the task, the harder it is to get started. Yeah, but is that because the important tasks are larger? They're bigger, they're more menacing. Is that what it is, Janet? Or is it because of that guilt association that it's important and it's that dauntingness of the importance of it, no matter what the size is? I'm curious what you think there. My anxiety is both my greatest motivator and the biggest reason for my procrastination. Yeah, but it's because of like paralysis of choice. Sometimes, like a rabbit in a headlight, you freeze. And so there are elements of anxiety that can be good. I mean, it's all about the threat signals you get in your brain that can be a motivator. It pushes you along. But it's why I'm always like, it's always about a place of self-compassion and realizing it's a choice, and it's a choice that you've embraced, and that can give you positive momentum to do better for it. I think it's pure anxiety. Fear of failure is such a common thing. And I totally understand. I always get very flustered with all the tasks I've got to do, and I realise I need to, do the schedule again. And sometimes, when I drop the ball with scheduling, and I might have a day where I've been a bit distracted by other things. Like today, I was going to try and get another podcast guest booked, but then I had to get my Instagram post done, which took me a while, and I had a few other tasks. But you know what? That's okay. because I got those things done. That was productive in other ways, and it means I don't have to worry about them on future days, and I can go back to the podcast stuff. Although I did actually chat to someone who's a well-known cosplayer, actually. The world of cosplay absolutely fascinates me, and I dropped them a line saying, would you be up for coming on the show? And they're up for it, so that's really cool. Not this week. They're busy for the next month, which is fine. Getting something done in a week is always going to be a challenge. Could, not should. And actually, I did an Instagram reel about it. The start of it was, you should watch this video. No, you could watch this video, but should you? And that was the sort of the play on words there. All about mind games. Army Mum, hey. Hi, what I do that I know is very damaging, is to prepare too much, and when I get to do stuff is already nighttime and I end up not sleeping, which is going to be bad for the next day. I do what you do. That's actually relates to what I was mentioning about I do all these lists and I get everything in place, and yeah, and then I'm like, oh, it's the end of the day, I haven't even got on with the task yet. So I always feel that, I'm just thinking off the top of my head now, I'm wondering if the way that days should be structured is the first half of the day is the getting on with the task, and then the afternoon onwards it's like prep for the next day, or the last third of the day. It's that whole thing about allowing you to hit the ground running. I always thought it was important that first thing in the morning you sit there with your tea and you go through emails and respond to people, because you'll be dealing, and then people have stuff in their inbox to deal with that day. But I was actually listening to a Blinkist. It's that app that breaks down a lot of audiobooks into like 15-minute bite-sized chunks. I love listening to it on my walks during lockdown. But there was a point about that's not the best way. Doing emails first thing is not. What you should spend your mornings doing is the creative work. If you've got project work that requires a lot of thinking and creativity, that's what you should get on with, and then do the emails after lunch when your brain starts slowing down, which I thought was very, very interesting. There was also another one I read which was about a special type of list making, and I've totally forgotten what it is. But the way it works is when I have all these lists, I've got them here, all these lists of like things I need to do. And I have like notes on my phone. I might screen grab something online that I need to do later. And then it's like, right, I need to go through all this information and I need to like organize it. But this one tip I heard, another life changer for me. What you do is you get a spreadsheet or a document and you just vomit all your to-do list on there. Doesn't matter what it is. You just absolutely throw it onto the sheet. Just a massive list of everything. I was going through emails, deleting them, going, I don't need to keep that email anymore because I've now added, the to-do bit on this. So you have this massive page and it's a complete mess. And then what you do is you go down item by item and you say, can I do this right now? And if you can, you do it right now, and then it's gone. You go, oh, actually, I do need to do this. I can't do it yet. And so what you do is you then put it to another tab on your spreadsheet, and you create tabs for different categories. So I have one which will be for my podcast. I'll have one for freelance work. I'll have one for admin, which is like finances and stuff like this. I'll have one that is to do with my office. So it was like getting a new desk or clearing up my computer or getting new studio stuff set up. And you start moving it across. So eventually that collection page is empty. Now you're supposed to every week, I say supposed to, you can every week just, vomit onto that collection thing. And saying this now, I'm like, I need to do it. So most people, myself included, would sometimes go, oh, I failed it. I messed it up. I was supposed to do it every week and I haven't. And that is in some ways a failure, but don't treat it like that. No. Instead, it's cool. What's in the past is in the past. I can't change it. What I can change is in the future. So you know what? Next Monday, I'm going to write it in my diary. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to do a new collection list and see how that goes. Janet says, perhaps delineating between preoperative steps and action steps and planning at least one action step for every so many planning organizational tasks. I see, in terms of the overwhelmingness of over planning and stuff like that. Yeah, it is a difficult one, and there is no quick fix. I heard that Elon Musk, he like breaks his days into 10-minute segments, but I don't understand how he actually plans that. I mean, obviously he could pay someone to do it, but it's like, that seems like way too much hassle. It seems like it's the point where the planning takes longer than the doing of the tasks, and that's when it's no longer helpful. The other one I got on my Instagram was the Pomodoro app. So it's an app that helps you plan stuff. I haven't checked it out. I think it's a type of app, but yeah, I'm yet to check it. But it says muting all my devices help too. So yeah, I mean, procrastination comes from two things. It is constant accessibility. People can always contact us, and we can always contact people. And it's also the abundance of information. The internet is an infinity machine. You could spend endless hours on there. And so it is about ring fencing stuff and going, you know what? I'm gonna, not worry about it now. But something that I'm doing at the moment is I've just signed up to a new app that is called, I've got it on my wellbeing one, Flow Lab. And it's all about productivity, and it monitors your progress. And it gives me daily actions around meditation, which I've done a lot before, but it's quite good that it's in this new format around motivation. Hannah, tell us about the technique. Tell us about the technique, please. But yeah, meditation, because your parasympathetic nervous system, when you slow down your breathing, it calms you and it brings in focus, and the balance of your hormones. You get serotonin, oxytocin, all this starts rising, and it means then when you go to tasks, you're less sporadic. Same when I use flotation tanks, which I've booked myself in for one this week. I haven't done one in weeks. I miss it. But yeah, bringing everything down, because when you've got a lot of noise, it's just that's a new form of momentum you've created, which isn't very, very helpful. So really, really recommend that. And I have a really lovely music playlist on Spotify, which I think I can share this with you. If any of you have Spotify, when you're working, give this playlist a go. It's called Concentration and Relaxation. Here we go. Concentration and Relaxation. And you can follow me on Spotify, by the way, if you want. There we go. It's going to look ugly on the screen, but yeah, I've put it in the live chat. And that will hopefully help you out. And basically, from loads of different playlists I've seen, music that doesn't have lyrics in it. I think there might be a few songs, but like it's all about the music, and it just calms you down. Right, the Pomodoro technique. Here we go. Hannah says, you focus completely on your work for like 15 mins, and then you take a 5-minute break, and the cycle repeats so you don't get burned out or distracted. Do you know what? I was listening to a video earlier and they mentioned this, and I totally didn't click it was something that was recommended on Instagram earlier. So yeah, he was saying that it was like 25, for him it was 25 minutes then 5. But yeah, you break it up, so you do things that you say, you're doing like lots of sprints and with lots of breaks. For me, I just feel like I'm always going to run out of time. I'm going to get to the 15 minutes and go, but I've still got this to finish, and I'm not going to stick to it. But maybe that's something I need to try. Maybe I do need to stick to it, and if I've still got stuff to finish, I come back to it after a 5-minute break. So, yeah, okay. This is something I'm going to try. See, this is what I said actually leading up to this live show. This is a conversation. This isn't just about Myles is going to tell you all this, and then you go away and you do it. It's let's talk about it, because this is what I always like to say. No one has a monopoly on good ideas. This is what I've always said. And it applies to procrastination, because we all have different experiences. And that's a big part of empathy, is sharing experiences so we can learn from each other, so we don't always have to tread the same path as someone else. And yeah, I think that's really, really important. So that's cool. That's really cool. Right. So I can't believe how quickly we went through that. That is all I had to say on procrastination. So just to recap, when it comes to procrastination, you need to think about what are the components that lead to it. So it's the expectation that you approach the task with. What is expected of you? Could you do it or should you do it? It's also about the delay. What is the delay between the action and the output? So it's about breaking down tasks into smaller pieces so that the next horizon is shorter and shorter. But it's also about the reward. Yes, if you do a big task, there's a big reward at the end. But if it's going to take months to do, that reward isn't going to feel very fulfilling over that long period. As humans, we do appreciate instant gratification. And so surely there has to be a compromise between instant gratification and that big, big reward waiting for you months and months down the line. So with those different segmented structures to your schedule, why not add some rewards? Get 5 of these small chunks done today. And when I say 5 chunks, they're like 5 different chunks of 5 different tasks. And then you can go out and do what I'm going to do in 20 minutes and go 19 minutes, go grab some pizza, you know. Adrian said, the Pomodoro really helped my exam prep. I usually end up studying for 2 hours like it's nothing when I do it this way. That's amazing. And that's the thing is, what you do overall, it's so much more. You know, I've heard stories about people that were, you know, they wrote down, okay, I want to meditate 20 minutes a day. And every week they meditate maybe 10 minutes twice. So what they did was they put, you know what, every day, I'm just going to meditate 2 minutes. 2 minutes a day, that's all I've got to do. And they ended up meditating not only every day, but more than 2 minutes every day. And it goes back to what I said about the just do 5 minutes. Once you get the ball rolling, you're in the move, you're in that frame of mind, you're in that zone, and you can really achieve amazing things. So what I'm up for doing for the last 15-20 minutes is open it up to Q&A, but it doesn't have to just be about procrastination. If you want to ask me anything, maybe give me feedback about the podcast episodes, if you've heard any recently. Doesn't matter if they're old podcast episodes or more recent, or what you'd like to see more from this channel or from these live shows. I've got to think about what I'm going to do next week for the live show, but I'm thinking, just because it was requested so much during lockdown, but I don't know if any of you tuned into the weekly quiz I did. I did about 20 of them. And I wish I'd done them when I had this broadcast set up, because it would have served me so well. And it would have looked a lot better. And then I could have had stuff on screen. But I'm thinking next week we should do a Myles Dyer live quiz. What do you think? Should we do a quiz next week? I think that could be good. We'll do a pub quiz. I think this would be really, really good. Michael, hey Michael, good to see you here, dude. Meditation is so good. It really is. And some days I miss it and I don't do it. That's fine. But mindfulness and like really lowering your levels of stress and, you know, raising your sense of peace doesn't have to be done in meditation. It can be done in mindfulness on a day-to-day basis in everyday tasks. The one I always give is, I could be there in the kitchen with this, you know, pour myself a nice glass of water, and I could just stand there. I could do it now. So if I wasn't talking, I'd just be thinking about the sensation of my fingers touching the coolness of the glass, the coolness from the water. When I'm drinking, be mindful of the feeling of it going into me, the feeling of, you know, quenching the thirst, feeling refreshed. And as I'm saying that now, I'm feeling the gravity in my feet, the soles of my feet pressing into the ground, the feeling of my hands touching on the table, the silence around me when I'm not speaking, the reverberation of my voice as I speak in this room, the lights, the faces I can see on screen as you talk to me. And just doing that now, I'm already feeling a lot calmer, feeling a lot more at peace. It slows everything down. And it allows you actually to achieve a meditative state without actually meditating. And mindfulness, for that reason, is so incredibly powerful. And I actually did a guided meditation recording many weeks ago, and it's on the edit suite. So maybe I'll work on that and get that done for a future post. The idea is for it posting it just on Instagram TV, but who knows, it could be something that I post on this YouTube channel. But for now, I think I just need to keep it to the live shows and a new podcast episode every Monday. I think that would really good. Cool. So, any questions? There's 11 of you watching, by the way, and only 10 likes. My goodness, who hasn't given it a like yet? I'm joking, by the way. But do just give it a thumbs up. It helps. And I would also say what I mentioned earlier on my channel. If you go to my YouTube channel and go to the, I'll show you here. Go to the community tab. And then scroll down a little bit. And you got this post here. And I'm just asking all my subscribers, all 47,600 of them, just to like it and leave a comment. I think someone else has left a comment during this. Oh no, not yet. So if you do that, and then I'll happily respond to them after. But it's just I'm thinking of ways of how we awaken this algorithm, because every week I do this live show, I always have one of you step in and go, "Oh hey Myles, I used to watch you like 10 years ago. I didn't know you were doing videos again." It's like, no, this is why we're doing it. It's why we're staying the course. And 14 likes, thank you, really appreciate. 15, any higher than 15? I feel like we're doing an auction now. And we've now got 12 people tuning in. See, this is what it does. It really does. The algorithm is really a beast that you have to tame and take advantage of. And it does mean a lot, because, like the conversation of procrastination, the toughest part of most tasks is getting started. Getting the ball rolling. And that's definitely been the case with this channel. And getting the podcast and doing this live show every week. I have to admit, today's episode, I wasn't feeling it, just because I'm exhausted, I'm very hungry, and I was very rushed with the day. But I feel I got started, and then chatting with you, I feel really happy. And I'm feeling really good about it. Do you believe in the whole law of attraction? Now, I'm actually looking up the law of attraction. I do know of it, but I just want to make sure. Actually, maybe I don't know about this. Okay, no, I do know about this. It was worded differently. So it's the idea, the law of attraction is a philosophy suggesting that positive thoughts bring positive results into a person's life, while negative thoughts bring negative outcomes. I know it's not exactly the same as karma, but I know there's always a lot of conversations around karma. And I have a very practical view on karma, which I think ties into the laws of attraction. And it's this. By being positive... Well, actually, let me break it into two sections. Let me deal with the law of attraction that you asked about first, and then I'll talk about karma. So law of attraction, in terms of being positive, leading to positive outcomes, the simple way I explain this is, if you're feeling pessimistic and negative, you're looking down, you're shrugging, you're not feeling great. And by doing it, you're not looking up, you're missing out opportunities to engage with people, to see opportunities, doors that might be open for you already. You're closed off. Whereas by being positive and optimistic, you stand taller, you have better posture, and therefore you can see the horizon, you can see opportunities that are coming your way. And so, yeah, I really, really do believe in that. And hey, Mojo, and no worries at all. I hope work was all right, and it's always good to see you here. The karma element that I was going to talk about, and I always use I think it's a good metaphor, but it sounds really odd when you're talking about karma. I talk about parking lots, car parks, for karma. So some people believe karma in the sense that if you do good things, the universe will reward you with good things. Okay? Like there's an active hand, could be God, could relate to spirituality. I do not ascribe to that notion. I don't believe there's an actual transaction where you do good things, you are therefore owed something. For me, it's about increasing probability by building society. And so when I talk about a car park or a parking lot, soon this will become an obsolete example because of the way the car parks are changing, more digital. It registers when you park your car and pay for parking. It's, registered with your registration plate, so it's for your car. But in the more traditional ones where you pay for an hour of car parking, you get a ticket that you put in under your windscreen. You get back from shopping after 40 minutes, there's 20 minutes left. And I occasionally did it, but one time I was in a car park, I parked up and someone came up to me and went, "Oh, are you going to be just 20 minutes?" And I was like, yeah. They're like, "Oh, there's 20 minutes left on this. Do you want it? Thank you very much." And I was like, wow, that was a really nice thing to do. And it inspired me with the positive idea that next time I'm in that situation, I should pass it on. And so, yeah, I was in a car park once. I got back from shopping early. "Hey, excuse me, I've got like 10, 20 minutes left on this. Do you want to use it?" And it passed it on. And for me, that is how karma works. It's not that I give someone my parking ticket, therefore someone's going to give me one sometime. It increases the probability because what you're doing is you're multiplying inspiration. And yeah, kind of like pay it forward. Pay it forward, man. I get a bit emotional because it's a phrase that my dad uses because I always feel guilty. I'm happy to talk about this. I've always felt guilty that my parents have done so much for me in my life. Honestly, lifted me up in so many ways. And I would love to be in a situation one day where I could take them on holiday and, treat them and, pay back. And my dad just said to me, "Pay it forward, Myles." That's what his dad told him. And it really ties into another thing which I talk about, which is, what is the meaning of life? And for me, it's about legacy. It's about creating things that outlive you. And that's all about paying forward. It's all about investing. And that's all about karma. It's about, injecting positivity and goodwill into society because it has a multiplier effect. When people are wronged, they sometimes get bitter and think, well, if people aren't going to give a shit about me, why should I give a shit about other people? Michael, with the super chat or super sticker, thank you very much. I love how it writes it out. 100 underlined twice. Thank you very much, good sir. Really, really appreciate it. You're very, very kind. I'm actually just going to log on to my live stream so I can see the super sticker. There it is, the 100. Oh, yeah, it's the actual emoji. Isn't that the actual 100 emoji? So super sticker, is that... I'm having a look here. Oh, there is one that is actual emojis, right? I'm having a look. Or did you actually customize it? No, is it there? I can't find it. How have you done this? How have you done this sorcery? You do too, about feeling guilty with parents. Honestly, I think many of us do. And it means we care. And my best recommendation is just talk to your parents about it. And just express appreciation. It was the best thing I ever did. Have you ever thought about interviewing Brianna Joy Gray? I'm interested in her ideas on how she believes we build community of people who we know have common interests but have been taught to hate us. Do you know, I've been a massive fan for her for many, many years, and would love to have her on the podcast show. A part of me, honestly, you know, I should ask her. You're right, I should ask her. A part of me feels that she's such a big fish now, she probably won't come on the show. But, you know, maybe she would, because I'm from across the ocean. So, yeah, I would definitely... I will reach out to her and find out, because I really respect her. Don't always agree with her on stuff, but, you know, that's not what it's about. And if we had some disagreements on things, I think we could have a really, really good exchange. I try to give back to my parents as they have done so much for me. But that's the thing. It's all about trying, and it's about... It doesn't have to be a like-for-like exchange, you know? It really doesn't have to be. I love the feeling of doing random nice things for people who had no expectation. It feels like changing the world in just a tiny way. It really can. It really can. You really can change the lives of people. And it's why I always talk about vitamin G, vitamin gratitude. You know, we always express, we tend to express gratitude after the fact, or sometimes it's too late. You know, there's all these tributes that come out when people pass away. And, you know, that's important. But why not tell people while they're doing the thing that you're grateful for? Because then it will inspire them to keep going. And so I always send video messages on Instagram DMs to like small businesses and people that are doing great stuff, big and small, just saying, hey, I know video messages aren't the usual way of getting in touch, but it's more personal. And I just wanted to say, love what you're doing and keep up the great work. And people were often quite shocked and humbled by it. And, you know, it's you know, a lot of expressions of gratitude are you know, free. So it can be very simple to do. There was something I shared on Instagram, actually. Has it actually disappeared? It has. Let me look in my archive. It was a quote I really liked. I might write it down on a piece of paper and do it as an Instagram post sometime. But it really taps into what I was talking about, and I'm mindful that I've got to head off to grab pizza in 3 minutes. The post was, if we don't tell people how we feel, how will they know? And I love it. So simple, but so true. If we don't tell people how we feel, how will they know? I appreciate your words, and I've also heard stickers help with the algorithm. Is that right? Oh, here we go. Love it. Well, if anyone else wants to send a super chat or a super sticker in the next 2 minutes, now's your chance. Can be as little as you like. Let's do this. And give a thumbs up if you haven't already. And by the way, once again, the amount of people tuned in is higher than last week's, which is so good. I'm so grateful. Thank you. Because at the start of this show, in the countdown, it looked like it was going to be the most empty show yet. And so every week, the anxiety gets more, but so does the sense of reward and accomplishment. And I couldn't do it without you. So, yeah, I just love seeing you here every week. No worries at all, man. No, honestly, I would say this to anyone watching now. And I know you don't think this, but Myles Dyer Live is not the curriculum. There's no commitment. And you might think, I can't tune in for the full thing, so I won't at all. Even if you can just tune in for like a couple of minutes to say, hey, it does help. Like literally just every Wednesday, come in, give it a thumbs up, go, hey, Myles, you know, ask me a question or something like that. I can put you up on the screen, have a little chat for 2 minutes, and you can head off. And that's great. So yeah, really, really appreciate it. It was one of the super stickers. I just didn't find it. Neil says, I often wonder if doing something for someone in hope of receiving something is not actually a selfless act. So I did a video many years ago called Selfish or Selfless, and it was the idea that we often see them as opposites. But actually, I think things can be combined. I think that doing something... I mean, obviously, doing a good thing because you expect something in return directly, it's like a transactional thing. It's maybe a part of manipulation and stuff like that. But doing something with the hope that it will make more good in the world and that maybe someday someone will do it to you, more in the abstract, I think that's totally fine, because I think that is what society is. That's what your mirror neurons in your brain are about when you have empathy. You know, you empathize with other people and you put yourself in their shoes. Because you could say, oh, so you only care about them because you think about it from your perspective. Well, no, that's just the power of empathy, and that's a really, really great thing. So yeah, man, loads of messages coming in now. So I'm gonna run over 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna go get my pizza, because my pizza's ready in 15 minutes. I can get there in 10. So yeah, keep the comments coming in. But hopefully that answers it. And also, I just want to say, I've been going through my YouTube channel today, and I've been privating a lot of old videos that just don't really fit in with what I do now, or I feel, you know, because if I've got like hundreds of videos on my channels that are getting zero views, YouTube thinks, oh, it's just a dead channel, so I'm doing it. But I was watching some of my first YouTube videos, and some of them where I was in a really dark place. Oh man, I was getting emotional. Like, God, I've grown up so much, but I can see like essences of the person I am now, and it's that thing of like, I'd love to go back and give myself a hug 15 years ago and tell myself things are going to be all right, and like, you know, that's just what life is, and that's stuff that previous generations never really had, you know. Our parents, a lot of them didn't have video footage of them growing up. They just have photos, whereas now we have videos and we can really see ourselves as humans. Wow, 17 likes. So we're going to get to 20. Started a new online school for my final year of school this week, and I hope that's gone well, dude. Please ask. I will. Brianna Joy. Do you know what I do? I send people a video message on Instagram, but because we're not connected, it will go in their like third inbox. So what I'll do is I'll just email them and say, hey, I sent you a video message. And normally it gets a good response, because people are like, okay, no, this guy's for real. I agree, it's nice to do random nice things for people. The smallest thing can do so much, even something simple as put a smile on someone's face. Yeah, even saying like hello. Like, when I go for a walk around my local lake, it's empty, and I'll see like an elderly man walking with his dog by himself, and I'll just say, evening, and, you know, sense of belonging, acknowledgement. I exist, we're here. That's what humans want: belonging, acknowledgement of our existence. It's powerful, really powerful. Wow, we were going through the quotes still. God, I'm really behind. I really apologise, people. I'm racing down now. Whoa, super sticker from Silver Surfer. That's my trumpet impression, which was probably really terrible. $3 from Silver Surfer. Hands doing the sign of the horns with the sparkles around. Is it that one? I'm going to have a look now. Is it that one? Let's have a look. Yeah, it is. Woo! Rock on. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. Have a great day. Bon appetit. Oh man, I can't wait. It's the Beyond Meat, so it's the fake meat, but they've teamed up with Pizza Hut. It's not vegan, so it's triple cheese, but the meat free is amazing, and I can't wait until they make vegan versions. I mean, you could do it without cheese. Cheese is one of the things that's stopping me from becoming fully vegan. And I know that's not an excuse, but I am making progress, like, compared of how I used to be. Just depends if the person has asked you to do something, maybe. Yeah, I think, you know, doing something nice and then saying, you know, I helped you with that, so maybe you owe me. Like, yeah, that's when the manipulation comes in. I agree. Janet Moses with the super sticker. We've got 1 minute left if anyone else wants to do any final super stickers or super chats, or give a thumbs up to get us over 20. I need a sound effect for super stickers. I can actually program it. I need to work something out, but I'm not used to getting these. Pear character doing a shaka sign with his hands saying cool. I don't know what a shaka sign is, but I can imagine it's like cool. Is that what it is? Let's have a look. Yeah, that's a shaka sign, is it? Sick. That's what someone I used to work with when I was skiing used to do it. Thank you so much, Janet. I remember a lot of your old content. It was brilliant. Oh, man. So what I'm going to do is, once I finish going through all my content and doing all the privates and stuff like that, I've had to remove my old PO box, which is like 8 years old. I'm going to do a playlist. I'm going to remove the Entertain, Inform, Inspire playlist, and I'm just going to do an old school playlist and have highlights of my old school videos. Because I think it is interesting. I have an idea to wake up your subscriber base. Maybe you can analyse something someone famous has done recently, and people are scouring the internet for information because you're so good. I really appreciate that, Daniel. Like topical stuff, I used to do a lot, especially in politics. Maybe I will at some point. I mean, I did the IPCC report and stuff, but yeah, maybe I could do that. We'll see. And that can also tie in with the guests that I get for the podcast show. It's going great. I missed so much school when I went to a public school due to mental health. It put me in such a dark place, but this new online school is so much more welcoming and accepting. Dude, really, really glad to hear that, and all the best with your onward journey with that. So nice one, dude. And we'll play some Alvo soon. No one else is going to know what I'm on. Oh, we have a super sticker. Kristen, $1.49. 3 evergreen trees. So I don't know what trees these look like, but I assume they're going to be very evergreen. Let's have a look. Oh, they're nice. They're like fern trees, aren't they? I like them. Really, really good. Really good. Oh, I just pressed play on my video and then I heard myself repeating back to myself. My bad. What's your favourite cheese? Oh, I do like cheddar. Strong cheddar. I really do. Yeah, really good. Cool. Listen, everybody. I'm really, when I saw it was like an hour ago, I was like, oh, how am I going to last through this? I'm really going to struggle. But you've all been absolutely brilliant. Just a reminder, as I said from the start, I'm not doing Twitch streams straight after this anymore just because it's too frantic. I'm going to probably work out like a day of the week that I do live streaming for gaming. I think that would work better. But I just want to end with just an ask for everyone. If you haven't already, I mentioned, you can see here, if you go to questforempathy.com and you scroll down on this page, actually it's got here Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you use any of these things, just go on them and follow and subscribe. It's free for my podcast show. Even if you watch the video version, it just really, really helps me out. And also on my YouTube channel, on the main YouTube page, you got the community tab. If you go here and just give this post with my nice face a like and comment, and you can ask me a question or anything on the comment, and maybe just give some feedback on what you'd like to see on the channel, what podcast episodes you liked or live shows you liked, what you'd like me to talk about in a future live show. I'm going to respond to every comment that is on there, and it's just another way of just trying to get this algorithm going. So I appreciate I bleat on about it a lot, but it is just because I'm really going for it, and I am an anxious mess with it. But honestly, you guys are effing amazing. You make this my favorite time of the week every week, and I think I'm going to write a quiz for next week's episode. And if it's not for next week, it'll be the week after, because I think that'd be really, really fun. Whoa, B-Rob with the super sticker. 3 red hearts of differing sizes. So I'm going to guess it's going to be smallest, largest, medium. Oh, let's have a look. I probably got that wrong. Oh, no, I got it wrong. It was largest, smallest, medium. That's nice, though. Thank you very, very, very much. So, honestly, love. Really appreciate it, everyone. And don't forget, I'm really, really active on Instagram. So follow me there. I will definitely enjoy my pizza. As always, hopefully there have been some useful tips. If you're watching this on replay, post in the comments. Do you struggle with procrastination? What tips do you have that have helped you or could help other people? And even those of you on the live stream, if perhaps there were things that come to mind later, just post it in the comments, because you never know. It might help someone who's coming to this and, just needs some help with dealing with it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so, so much, everybody. You're absolutely amazing. Have a great week. Hopefully there'll be a new podcast episode next Monday. And I'm thinking of doing an extra live show on my Facebook page or Instagram account on Friday. So if you're on any of those, maybe I'll see you there as well. Love, respect, empathy. I've got 5 minutes to go collect my pizza. Love.